Right guys, so as promised, I'm going to be doing my own little tier list now. This is the layman's tier list, right? I'm no Foxy, I'm no ketchup and mustard, I'm certainly no Sonic Fox, so it's just my humble opinion on who I think is the worst to the best in Mortal Kombat 1 currently. Now, this is just as a base character. The cameos obviously drastically changed matchups, so I'm not going to include them for this. I might make a separate tier list for them, and then a tier list. Actually, do you know what? A tier list with the cameos and the characters would be too difficult because there's too many match variations. So we'll do this one for now. So I'm going to start with who I personally believe to be the worst character in the game, and I believe that is Sub-Zero, and I think most people believe that as well. Sub-Zero seems to be severely lacking in several areas. His mix-ups are fairly easy to block. Now, there was a very interesting money match between ISDD and Secunda, and Secunda's like the only Sub-Zero left, him and Tom Brady, and I think at this point Secunda is quite easily like much better than Tom Brady, so he's just lacking in so many departments. Do I feel sorry for him? Not really, because we went through nightmares on MK11 fighting this character. Can they buff him a little bit? Yeah, sure. I think that maybe he deserves a little bit of a buff. I don't think you should buff his mix-ups, but I definitely think that his damage should be buffed a little bit at the very least. If he's going to have easy to block mix-ups, I think that you should at least give him a bit more damage. It seems like he's doing a lot of work compared to other characters. But I don't know, maybe buffing him might send him into overdrive. So in its current state, I'd say Sub-Zero belongs there. Whether he should be buffed and what might happen if they do that to him, I don't know, that remains to be seen. Now, I just want to stress something before I go on. That tier lists are just on paper. But what I'm going to try and do with this tier list is I'm going to try and apply it to like a real match. Like, you know, you have characters. What game can I use? Soul Calibur 5 is a perfect example of this. You had a character called Alpha Patroclus, where if you could use him perfectly, he had just frames for everything. So essentially, you couldn't really punish this character, and he was doing like 70%. But actually doing the combos in real world situations against actual opponents consistently and being that consistent was difficult. So I'm going to try and make this tier list based on, of course, the character on paper, but also how it lines up with them in an actual match, at least in the current meta. So the next character that I'm going to put on there, and I promise you it's not because I play them, I genuinely think that it's General Shao. Now I just want to stress that Sub-Zero is the only character that I think is really not very good in this, but I do think General Shao is good. As a matter of fact, I'm going to put Sub-Zero there on his own, and I'm going to put General Shao there. The reason Sub-Zero is there on his own is because I actually think Sub-Zero is pretty bad. I think there's too many things wrong with him. So I'm going to put General Shao there because from this point on, I actually think all the characters are pretty good. It's just obviously, you know, one's got to be better than the other. It's the same as Tekken. Everyone's pretty viable. But Kuma and Panda are at the bottom for good reason, even though we saw Panda win the Tekken World Tour. So if you see your character towards the bottom, don't be alarmed. It's not the end of the world. There's still, I mean, that's my character, right? So, and he's someone that I feel quite confident with. So, you know, it's not that big of a deal. Next on there, I'm thinking that I'm going to put Nitara. Nitara, you know, she can pump out a lot of damage. She has that. But I feel like she risks a lot every time she goes in. Now, she did just receive a buff, so maybe I'm wrong on this, but she doesn't seem like she seems explosive when she hits you, but when she hits you, you know, when it happens. So I don't think I can really put her any higher than that when I look at the other characters on here. I don't have that much experience with Nitara. Like I said, this is a layman's tier list, so don't go aiming shotguns at me in the comment sections, although if you want to, you are more than welcome to. I read all the comments, so it's always fun. Next, I would put Reptile. Reptile would be the next one in there for me. I think Reptile in the right hands can be a bit of a menace. Obviously, if you attach him with a cameo, the right cameo, then you know he's really quite annoying. Motaro comes to mind. I think he's quite good with Motaro. Next up, this is where it starts to get a bit tricky. I think I will go into C now. C, I think I'm gonna put Scorpion. Actually, no, I'm gonna put Scorpion in D. Scorpion seems a bit like, you know, not great at anything in this game, but not absolutely shambolic at anything either. He's got good range tools, very good pokes, decent combo damage. When paired with the right cameos, when paired with Scorpion as well, with the Hanzo version of Scorpion, combos get even more powerful. So he's, like I said, everyone apart from Sub-Zero here I think is pretty good. So don't be too pressed if you see them there. Next, next one I'm going to put here might be a bit controversial, but I'm going to put Geras. I don't think Geras is anywhere near as menacing as he was in Mortal Kombat 11. In Mortal Kombat 11 he had people having nightmares, sleepless nights even. And I think that in this game, although I do think he's largely unexplored, so this could very easily change. But based on what I've seen and based on what I've fought, he doesn't seem anywhere near as oppressive as he used to be. Now that could very easily change. Maybe someone's going to attach a cameo to him that changes the game completely. I've fought very few Geras and I've used him myself quite a bit. Which is the only reason why I feel fairly confident in saying this. I don't think he's that amazing. I don't think he's, you know, that out there. Next character I'm going to put in there is Layman. I think Layman is good. I think she's got good damage output. I think she's like a pretty run-of-the-mill character. She doesn't got anything that I consider too spicy. From what I can see, the best pairing for her is Frost, although I'm sure it's not been fully explored yet, but Frost seems to be the one where she gets good mix-ups from. So yeah, I'd put her there. You know, I don't think that she deserves to be any higher than that personally. Next up, I don't know, this is going to start getting a bit controversial, I guess. I'm going to put Sindel here. I think Sindel is a pretty good character. I think that I've actually had the privilege of fighting quite a lot of Sindel, which is why I feel quite confident putting her there. Although I could be wrong. Like I said, this is a layman's tier list, so throw the shurikens at me if you need to. But I think that she's a strong character, you know, the right cameo, she's really annoying. The gimmick that really made her appealing to me was her taking control of your cameo. And yet, even when I fought very good Sindels, I haven't really seen them utilizing that. So I don't actually know how good it actually is. Because I would have imagined people would be spamming that. But it doesn't seem to be that strong of an ability. So outside of that, she's a pretty solid character. Decent mix-ups, good damage. Her scream has good range. She's overall quite annoying to fight against. Next up, I am going to put Kung Lao in there. I think Kung Lao again is a good character. He's pretty annoying to fight. I personally struggle against Kung Lao. Historically, I've always struggled against Kung Lao. There's actually this goes back to MK9 when me and Foxy were in the grand finals of a London tournament. And up until that point, I hadn't been beaten on Mortal Kombat 9, believe it or not. And obviously, Foxy being Foxy, you know, that didn't help. But I don't know if that fight traumatized me with Foxy. He beat the tar out of me. And it's funny because the day that I went to that tournament, I was actually hungover. So I was beating everybody hungover. When I mean hungover, I was like having a severe hungover. But I was just mollywhopping people with Scorpion and Noob Saibot on MK9 in that tournament. And I remember I met Foxy and my boy Helter said to me, that guy over there has been destroying everybody and he's hungover. And I remember Foxy looked over at me and he was just like, this guy's going to try to use the hungover thing as an excuse. He beat me so bad in that grand finals that he smacked the alcohol out of me. That shit woke me up. I will never forget it. If I can find the footage, I'll edit it in here, although I don't know where I would find it. It's so old. It was from a tournament called Ultimate Clash, and I don't actually think they recorded our fight. But I'll never forget, it was on the Deadpool stage, you know, like the pit looking thing you can knock people into on MK9. And he beat me from pillar to post. I mean, literally from one stage of the map to the other side of the map. It was disgusting. And everybody in the crowd went silent because up until that point, I won Ultimate Clash 7 and 8, I think. And I hadn't been beaten. Nobody could touch me. I faced Problem X in the finals of one of them, which is footage that I can actually find to edit in here.
Fight!
And Hollow the match point. This is match point, right?
This is match point.
This is match point for Hollow.
hurt, but Apollo needs to get back in. He needs to stop doing that. He's playing like me.
Yeah, those random teleports.
That risk is not there.
Yeah, you don't need it with smoke, not really.
He needs to do jump kick into throw.
Yeah, he needs to be using that a bit more.
There we go.
There we go. He's gonna break up. Oh no, he got meter. Ooh, nice reset. Ooh, went for it's true, man. He went for a cheeky grab back there. Didn't quite work, but you need to keep that up.
Punchy looking at the guy from Crystal Maze and everything. For real.
It's true. You know what I find with design really weird? It's uncomfortable to look at for me. What is it supposed to be?
He looks like a bit of like, you know, someone who's had AIDS or something. Philadelphia. It's kind of like that. Just ever so slightly.
No, he does look like he's struggling with cancer or something.
He has got a throne that is like, you know, one of them throw this away from the mark. He's going to get the throw in. Come on.
Yes, there you go.
There you go. Close enough.
Yeah, oh, that was nice. That was a nice counter. Problem is, he's wising up. Ooh, was unlucky there.
Oh man, he needs to start getting the max damage of that, man.
Oh, he goes for the he goes for it again. Yes, he's getting wiser. Problem's wising up. But is it too late?
Yeah, there you
Last
go.
moments.
Yeah,
he's gonna close it out. Oh, here we go. Alright. And that, okay.
You gotta do it.
Follow! Hard Wait, is it over?
Where is it?
Oh no.
Where is it?
Okay. Send him to hell!
Portal 2! Yes,
oh no! Think about that! Oh! You got roasted!
And I beat him. Problem X, the Evo World Champion. Shout outs to Problem, man. He's a really nice guy. I haven't spoken to him in a long time, but you know, when I used to go to tournaments in the UK, I'd always bump into him. We'd always go get some food and chat and whatnot. He's a stand-up guy, but I hadn't lost, and then Foxy came in and he beat the fucking piss out of me. It was embarrassing. It was even worse for everybody else because I beat the piss out of everybody else. I wasn't even trying. I was playing eyes wide shut, you know. So you know, that's just a little story from me back in MK9. So Kung Lao has traumatized me since then, but even then I can acknowledge that he's not the strongest character in this game. But he is still pretty tough, and in the right hands I think he can really, I think with Lao assist, the Lao cameo, he's really quite annoying. So yeah. And then the last character I'll put in here is Katana. Now personally I think Katana is quite unexplored, and again I've had the privilege of fighting quite a few Katanas, and she can be like really fucking annoying, especially with the right cameo. Although I'm trying to do this tier list without thinking of cameos too much. Even without that, she's got really good projectiles. Very good at spacing you out. Decent damage. It really does pile up with her. She's got decent pokes. She's got that thing that she can throw on the floor like a trap. I actually think she's pretty good, and I think as people explore her a little bit more, she's gonna continue to grow in power. That's personally what I think. But for right now, I'll put her like in the middle, run-of-the-mill character. Then we're going to go up to the next tier list, and I'm going to put Reiko there. Reiko I'm a bit undecided on because I'm trying to not be biased, but for general shout, Reiko is a bit of a nightmare. Now, luckily, well not luckily, I guess this will be a skill thing, I've mostly been able to overcome him, but that is only because I have the patience of a god, and most people don't. And if you don't, with General Shao versus Reiko, you're done. But that matchup aside and my bias aside, I don't think Reiko is at the top in the S and the A rankings. But I do think he's a strong character. I think that he's one of those characters that can develop over time. He has a very annoying playstyle. His shurikens are very strong, especially the EX ones. They catch you at the peak of your jump sometimes, which is really weird. His slide is really good at catching people when they're ducking the shuriken, so you can, you know, mix it up a little bit. He has a command grab. On its own, the command grab is pretty good. He's got a good overhead. You know, Reiko is a pretty complete character. He's got a fantastic range on his anti-air kicks. Those kicks are really annoying. Like, I mean, top annoying. So yeah, that he's a good character. You know, I considered playing Reiko. I thought he was pretty good. Next character I would put in there is Tanya. Tanya has probably the best mid in this game, for my estimation. You guys know what I'm talking about, where she kind of pokes you with whatever that weapon is that she's using. And then she can kind of confirm it into some really wacky combos. I think, again, Tanya is quite unexplored, and I think she may like go up in the rankings. She's one of the characters, when the game was coming out, that I think they focused on the least. I personally knew the least about Tanya, but I had a feeling, just based on Tanya in the past, that we weren't going to have the best time with her. She is very annoying to fight. She has very good projectiles, very high damage, very, very good poking. Her stagger game is just because of that one button, is very impressive. She's just an all-around difficult character to deal with. Next on the tier list, I would put Havoc there. Now, I was a bit shaky on putting Havoc there, but ultimately I decided that, you know, I think he belongs there. Havoc is very different from everybody else on this in this game, in my opinion. When I used him, he didn't feel like the typical run-of-the-mill dialer combo that you get with each character. And then he's also got that move where he rips off his arm, and it's got like 3 hits of armor on it, but if it hits you, it launches. He's an interesting character. It's a very interesting take on the character, and I'm not mad at it. I like his projectile. At first glance, I thought his projectiles were shit. They're actually not. They're very, very good, especially because of the way they travel across the screen. So I'm hopeful for Havoc. I think we'll be seeing more of him. I think as time goes on, people will develop game plans for him, and he may even go up in the tier list. But just right now, I think in the right hands, yeah, he's a nightmare. I came across a Havoc that absolutely just mollywopped me. I didn't know what the hell was going on. And up to that point, every Havoc that I'd faced was, you know, it was either pretty even or with relative ease. I'd never been destroyed like that, and it opened my eyes to what the character could do. So yeah, it's like death by 1,000 cuts with Havoc sometimes. But that could be very mentally defeating for your opponent. You know, you're just there getting smacked for extended periods of time. Go into the next match, much easier to open them up because of that. Next character that I'm going to put in there is Smoke. Now, I actually think Smoke is a really, really good character, but I honestly think that he needs to be in the right hands. He has a lot of gaps in his strings. His mix-up is pretty crazy. His mix-up is pretty annoying. He has solid damage. I just think that Smoke is one of those characters where it can go either way. I think that if Smoke gets on a roll, you can be in serious, serious problems. But if you get Smoke's back up against the wall, his escape options and like his counter poking game to me doesn't seem amazing. So it's a bit of a 50-50. Otherwise, if he had less gaps and, you know, he wasn't guessing as much, I might put him a little bit higher. But that's just me personally. That's where I think I would put him right now. And then we move into the upper echelon of characters. Now, the first one I'm going to put there is Liu Kang. Liu Kang's forward 4 is bloody annoying, just like it was in MK11. It's a brain-dead, annoying move that mentally breaks you and opens you up to the rest of his fuckery. And Liu Kang has plenty of it. And Liu Kang is very strong on his own. He does very, very good combos. Combo damage is strong, zoning is strong, air control is strong. You travel across the screen when you fight against him, so you find yourself in the corner a lot. He's a very, very good character. He's somebody that I'm using right now and I'm dabbling in. Maybe it's a potential second. I say that, but we're mere months away from Tekken, and we both know what's going to happen when that comes out. But I do think he's a good character. I think Liu Kang is solid. When the game came out initially, after the beta had finished, I think people were a bit iffy on Liu Kang. But I think now that we've settled into it, I think Liu Kang is he may even climb in the tier list. Who knows? I mean, there's gonna be a balance patch when Omni-Man comes out, so maybe they'll buff him, or maybe they'll nerf other characters, and that will help him. So yeah, that's Liu Kang. Next character I'd put there is Melina. Now, I think Melina's really good. I think some people don't rate her as much, but I think she's very, very good. She's very good at picking up combos, I've noticed. I don't know if anybody else has noticed this, but if Melina hits you in the air and like kind of misses the second hit, she's very good at just picking you up. I played this guy, and he kind of opened my eyes to some things that Melina could do. With the Scorpion cameo, obviously you guys have seen, she does absurd damage. She's got very, very good options. Her projectile turns into a command grab, which I thought was crazy, even on block. So I think she's a bit risky, which is why she's not higher. But in the right hands, I think Melina is a serious problem. And again, I think she's another one where it's only really going to manifest itself maybe a couple of months into the game. So watch out for Melina, guys. I'm telling you. I know a lot of people write her off because she's got a problem with one of her strings. Although I don't know if they changed that in the patch. But even outside of that, I think she's a pretty tough character. Next character that I would put in there is Rain. Rain, at the beginning of this game, I say the beginning, I mean we're only like a month or so in, but when the game came out, Rain kind of got written off. And for the life of you, I couldn't really tell you. I played Rain, and I thought to myself, why am I not playing this character? Now, the reason I'm not playing this character is because I love playing Shao Kahn. Like, even in MK11, although most of the videos on my channel are of Baraka and Noob Saibot, with my friends offline, I was always playing Shao Kahn. Just the idea of playing an Emperor, you know, it's cool to me. But anyway, that's a story for another day. Rain's got very good mix-ups, very good options. A very annoying character to fight. Loads of setups, very setup-heavy character. And I think as time goes on, just because of the way Mortal Kombat is, a character like him will flourish. The more people discover about the game, if there is anything left to discover, characters like Rain are going to flourish. I think as you add things to the game, Rain is a character that will flourish, like new cameos, for example, even though I'm trying to not reference them too much in this video. Just as a base character, it's got very strong strings, very strong mix-up, damage is good, reset potential is good, set plays are very good. So yeah, I think Rain belongs up there. Next character I would put in there is Shang Tsung. Shang Tsung's got an amazing zoning game in my opinion. A very tough character. In the right hands, I think if you learn all of like the warp shit and you know how to use everybody else, he can be a nightmare to deal with. His fireballs are just annoying. I don't really know how they work properly, to be honest with you. I know you can choose to shoot 1, 2 or 3 and then you can EX it and it sort of catches people that are jumping. And then obviously he can turn into the old man and condition you to not move because it'll come from underneath you. You guys have all seen the combo that Shang Tsung can do that literally lasts, what, like a whole minute of you being juggled. Now it doesn't do like 100%, it does maybe like 40 or 50%, but a minute of being juggled, that combo is a timer scam and it's mentally crippling. And it's not that hard to do. I remember I saw it on Twitter and I was like, let me give that a try. A couple of attempts and I had it down. I mean, there's nothing really hard in Mortal Kombat 1 to do, to be honest with you. It's not like MK9 and 10, and to a lesser extent 11. Everyone, you can literally pick any character and do their combos. You don't need a combo specialist. And this is coming from somebody that is notoriously shit at doing combos. I will never struggle with a character like Shang Tsung or anyone for that matter. They're very easy to use. But Shang Tsung is a very tricky character to fight. If you have the patience to fight him, then you'll be better off. If you don't, he will absolutely blow you up. And then the last character I'm going to put in there is Ashura. Ashura does great combo damage on her own. She has great mix-ups. She has amazing pokes and a pretty decent fireball which she can turn into like a dark one and it comes from beneath you. Ashura's a really good character. Not to mention, her wake-up armor reversal is stupid. That shit is dumb. I don't know who greenlit that, but that is really, really dumb. Air combos are really, really good. Like I said, decent damage. I haven't got anything bad to say about Ashura. She's a really, really tough character. And one of the characters I hate fighting the most is I think she is the worst character to go up against if you're General Shao. I think it's her. And trust me, it hurts. I mean, I did a whole video of me saying I finally overcome this bloody character. It is painful fighting her as General Shao, trust me. Then the next character I'm going to put in now, the S rankings, is Johnny Cage. Now, someone did rightfully point out that you can up-block Johnny Cage's overhead, but even then, his mix-ups are just so strong. They're so strong. He has great combo damage. He has great wall, like he might have the best wall carry. You can literally be on one side of the screen and if Johnny Cage starts a combo, you're going to the other side of the wall and you're going to like it. And then you're going to get put in another mix up and an endless stagger experience. And yeah, it's just painful. It's painful fighting Johnny Cage. It's so much work. I don't feel like the Johnny Cage player is working anywhere nearly as hardly as the person that has to block his bullshit. Next character I would put in there is Baraka. Now I know some people might be scratching their heads. I'm not one of those people that's scratching their heads. Baraka lost some damage, yes. They fixed some bugs with him so that he's not doing some weird teleporting around the screen now. But Baraka is still very, very strong. They didn't change so much of him that he would dramatically drop down the tier list. I don't know why people are overreacting and doomsdaying him like he's been destroyed. He hasn't. Baraka is a very, very strong character. Yeah, he lost a bit of damage, but guess what? You can still go Unga Bunga on the pad and you'll be just fine. You will be just fine. Just relax. You know, the nerf was necessary, and to be honest with you, I don't know what else they could do to nerf him. The way the character is designed is just a bit silly, so he is what it is. Maybe some people would disagree with that. Personally, I think that he's just he's a dumb character design. There's not, I mean, you'd have to go and rework the entire character. Next up, I'm going to put Kenshi. Now, the only reason Kenshi is not number 1, I guess we can put Raiden there and we'll talk about it. The only reason that Kenshi's not number 1 is because Sento is not out constantly. If Sento's out, Kenshi's number 1. When Sento goes back in, Raiden's number 1. Now, I'll put Raiden 1 just because of the consistency, but man, Kenshi is one dumb character. Amazing pokes, amazing damage. Sento is something else. Amazing chick damage because of that. A good projectile as well, 18%. That is not too shabby. You know, Kenshi is a very powerful character, and in the right hands, it's not that hard to get Sento out on the screen. You know, you're kind of at Kenshi's mercy half the time. And then he puts you in block, which is sometimes is worse than getting hit, because Kenshi and Sento will literally destroy your life gauge. So Kenshi, to me, he's right up there, man. He's painful to fight against. Next, I'll obviously put Raiden. Raiden is just, he's good everywhere. Good at full screen, good at mid-range, good at close-up. He covers everything. He's got an amazing projectile. He can teleport into you. He has safe pokes, an overhead, a low combo start that goes into massive damage. He has an amazing anti-air tool with the electricity thing where he grabs you, which can also just be done to standing opponents when they're trying to punish you. He's got his flying man thing, which is, you know, they nerfed it. They nerfed the damage on it, I believe. But it's still a very quick move, very good at catching people, very good at letting him escape situations as well. He can just run away, which is very annoying when you're playing big clunky characters and you've got to chase him across the screen. So yeah, Raiden to me is the best character in this game, and this is my tier list, guys. So let me know what you think of it in the comment section below. I'm sure there's going to be some disagreements. I'm obviously open to changing my mind on this as a tier list. There might be some things that I missed out, but generally I would say this is the tier ranking. For now anyway. We'll see when Omni-Man comes out and maybe we'll revise that. But let me know what you think, guys. I hope you're all safe. I hope you're all blessed. And I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.